Here we have the Collage Studio. Collage means cutting and gluing. So instead of drawing or painting to create a picture, you're going to use papers to cut and glue. So let's take a look at what we have here. So the word collage there, it's actually a French word to mean cut and glue. And here are some, this isn't completely collage, this is more of like a paper sculpture, but you can use these techniques. Okay, we can practice some of those if you'd like. And we've got a variety of color papers. And over here we've got papers with patterns and a lot of papers from magazines and old books. You can go through and cut these papers up. Okay. In here, might look a little different when you open it, but there'll be some staplers and tape. Just have some random things in here right now, some string. And down here, some paper punches. I'll show you how to use those later. Okay, of course we've got the piece corner down there. And then over here we have some smaller papers. So if you take a look, they're all organized by color, and it says, cut these. So if I'm going to cut something small, I'm going to choose from these bins instead of a big piece of paper, all right? And over here, I've got some fun, I like to call them crazy scissors, but they're the ones that have like zigzag lines and stuff on them, all right? And over here, we have some hole punchers. Just put one piece of paper in at a time. I've got, actually mine are different sizes too. I can show you how to use those. This says big scissors for 3rd, 4th, and 5th graders. So if you're in 3rd, 4th, or 5th, you can use those. And then this says washi tape. And so these are just some fun tapes that you can use. Okay, let's look down here. Right here is, this says collage books. So there's some artists that do collage work in here, and then some books that you might know are made by collage artists. Look at that, Brown Bear, Brown Bear. Eric Carle is a collage artist, so you can browse through there. Here's some smaller collage things. This says cut out letters and numbers. Okay, and this is just kind of some odds and ends. Some more little collage stuff, kind of more odds and ends. Stickers, all right, you can use the stickers, and alphabet stickers. Okay, so those are the supplies in the Collage Studio. Here are a couple examples of collage. So the artist cut out these different papers. Some of them have different textures, and layered them with glue to make this landscape. Here's some papers that were cut out and put together. It says, introducing Queen Elizabeth. Beep, beep. So just having fun with it. There's so many things you can do with collage. These are just a couple ideas. Here's another important resource for the Collage Studio. We've got this cart that has pencils on the top, but there's scissors and glue sticks down here. So remember when you're taking a scissors to your table to hold it like this, so that if you fall, you don't hurt yourself, or if you're passing it to somebody else. But then once you are working on your project, you put your thumb in the small hole and face it up, okay? And the glue sticks, save your glue cap and keep it at about that length. And then if you want to raise it up, you just go like this. So here is a little twister part. Twist, twist, twist. It's kind of like a chapstick, but don't use it like that. And that is too far though, because if I were gonna use that, it's gonna smush off. So I'm gonna twist that back down. And now that I am done, what do you think I need to do? Put the cap back on. So I want to make sure that that cap isn't going to get stuck. Sometimes if the glue is up too high, it gets all stuck in that cap. So I'm going to put the cap back on, click it, and then put it back. And I also have all these cutout letters. They're kind of organized by alphabet. These are just from magazines, cards, things like that. You can help contribute to this by cutting out fun letters, and then you can take these and you can use them to create words or poetry into your collage. When you're done, just put the lid on. Try not to drop it or anything because it's all organized right now. Here are some examples of our paper punchers that have different shapes. There's a few different types. So I want to show you how to use them. But first, let's talk about the paper that we'll use. So if I am just going to cut out a small shape, I don't want to grab this nice big piece of paper. I'm going to go into those smaller bins and grab a small piece of paper. Because if I cut out of this, then that whole paper is kind of wasted. But if I use these smaller ones, somebody that needs this for a bigger piece can still have it. Okay, so I'm grabbing a smaller piece of paper, and for this kind, it's kind of like a scissors. I'm gonna slide it in there, and when I'm cutting out shapes, I always try to use the edge of the paper. If I go into the middle, then I'm also wasting it. So if I cut here, I'm saving paper. So I'm gonna close it like a scissors, and then that shape came out. And look at, I still have a lot of this paper left to use. Okay, so let's try this triangle one. This one, you also slide it in there. Now only do one piece of paper at a time. These are a little bit harder to use. Use this strong part of your hand. Okay, and then I have my shape. I even have some paper here I can use. But I don't think that this one's gonna fit on there, so I need to grab a new piece of paper. So this one is similar, just slide it in here, only one paper at a time or they get jammed. I do not need to bang on it, but I do need to use my strength and the strongest part of my hand, sometimes two hands. Okay, so that's an example of that. Now, if I were to use this and take a chunk out of here, this paper is kind of, useless, not useless, but you know what I mean? If I cut a circle out of the middle of this, then the rest of this is kind of wasted. Tape and staplers are a good way to attach things. Glue is a great way. So let's talk about these two tools. The tape, this is expensive stuff, but I think it's important for you to have it. And we'll have other kinds of tape out too. So to use this, just grab it and tear it off. Don't take big long pieces, and I don't want to see people rolling it out and making big tape balls or putting it on your nails or your face. That's a waste of our resource, okay? So if I'm taping two things together, this is just a pretend project. Okay, that's the tape. And for the stapler, I will fill them up like this. You don't need to open them like that. Actually, if you are opening it a lot, they tend to get jammed. And we're gonna slide our two pieces of paper underneath the stapler. So if I wanted to staple these things together, I'm gonna slide it in here, and then I'm gonna keep the stapler on the table, and I'm gonna use the strong part of my hand, and sometimes two hands. I'm gonna push it down. I'm not gonna bang. Okay, and now I have it stapled. So I don't want you opening up the stapler. If you fill it too many pieces in there, they might get jammed. And also if you're banging on it, it gets jammed. So let's try to prevent it from getting jammed up so that you can use the staplers this year. If your collage is sticky, you'll want to put it on the drying rack, just like you would do for painting, so that they don't get stuck together. Lastly, you can mix collage with drawing. You could mix it with painting. When we open the sculpture studio, you can mix it with that. That's called mixed media, when we mix different types of artwork together. Have fun.